Joining us now is Summer Stephan, the district attorney for San Diego County. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it's an honor to be with you.
You have pioneered several initiatives in San Diego to combat human trafficking. Can you tell us about the work that you're doing there and why San Diego has become such an important battleground in this fight?
Human trafficking remains the second largest criminal industry in the world, in the United States, and in San Diego. It is one of the worst forms of taking away somebody's dignity and soul in sex trafficking and labor trafficking. So we've made it a priority in San Diego to fight human trafficking. So while human trafficking is pretty much everywhere in any urban big city, San Diego is a major corridor. We are an international thoroughfare. We're also the fourth largest county in the United States with 3.3 million population. Lots of freeways, lots of big events. And that also makes us a target, but we are always fighting back because when you see the impact of human trafficking on children, women, and boys and men, it is devastating and it's worth the fight with everything we've got.
As you mentioned, this happens every day, but it really isn't in the news that often. For people who aren't very familiar with how people can fall into this, can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, human trafficking isn't the way the movies portray it. Yes, there's a small percentage of cases where people are kidnapped off the streets, transported internationally, but most of the time it is done through deception, through fraud, through manipulation, and social media and the internet plays a big part. And it makes our children sometimes not safe even in their own bedroom. So while parents before had to worry about where their kids were, are they in a mall where somebody could deceive them? They now have to worry about the internet and about social media and predators and traffickers luring them with offers of having a fancy older boyfriend, gifts that, of course, always come with a price tag, which is their own bodies, um, sometimes luring them with being models, being part of a music video. All of these different deceptions are perpetrated online, and that's what's made the fight even harder.
You've been doing this for a long time. Do you think things are getting better, worse, or staying the same?
For San Diego County, we have measured things that show us that we're heading in the right direction. One of the main factors, every study and my own experience of 36 years tells us, is that the main factor that makes human trafficking succeed and these evildoers succeed is that the victims don't recognize themselves as victims. They think that they made a choice, that they made a bad choice, that they fell into it and now they can't get out of it. And the one of the measurements that we've had is whether victims themselves recognize that they're victims and call for help. And we're seeing an increase in that, which means that we've done a good job advertising, educating our community, educating our churches, our businesses, our hotels, so that people begin to recognize those subtle signs, and we're getting higher reporting, which allows law enforcement to then take action.
Education is key from all of those different entities, as you mentioned. But also, how do major events like the World Cup have an impact?
When we see major events, they're a beautiful thing. We love our sports, the sportsmanship. It's not the event itself, it's the fact that events draw tourism. They draw men at higher numbers, especially for the World Cup, sporting events. And because of that, and when people are ready to spend money, they somehow think buying a human being for sex is entertainment. Of course, it's not entertainment. It's prostitution is the oldest form of oppression. Nobody chooses to go into it. They are made to go into it either by force, fraud, coercion, poverty, or other circumstances. And so when you have this large amount of men at different events, we do see the numbers go up. And we prepare through our incredible human trafficking task force, our law enforcement, we set up undercover operations. We provide materials for the people who are running these games to be able to notice those signs because traffickers move their victims from place to place. That way, they avoid detection and they also follow where the big crowds are. And again, I mean, a key message is that buying people is illegal. It's not entertainment, it's not voluntary, it's not a choice. You have to think about everyone as if this is your child, your sister, your brother.
Human trafficking can be sexual in nature, but it can also be forced labor. What should people do if they suspect that someone is being trafficked?
Yeah, forced labor is it's a very important note, and it's even more hidden than sex trafficking. The way that labor is done is that people are hidden in plain view. We are doing a massive case involving Filipino immigrants that are being used in different senior homes 24/7 like slave labor. And we see many other situations of domestic servitude, terrible construction without safety equipment and without proper pay. So you have to pay attention to the subtle signs. If you see somebody that looks like they're there 24/7 at any time that you go and come, that doesn't make sense. It should raise a red flag. It's also that people do not speak for themselves when they are labor or sex trafficking victims. They're very careful what they say. And many times, in my experience, they don't even know what time of day or night or week or month it is because their life is a series of horrific events where they have no control over their bodies or their labor.
Summer, Stefan, thank you so much.
Thank you.